there, Carol Dragons. Thank you for taking the time out of your day for a brief dyslexia update. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Shanna Lane, and I'm a dyslexia teacher over at Carroll Elementary School. I have served other campuses, so maybe you've seen me around. Let's just get started. What is dyslexia? Well, the handbook states that dyslexia is a specific learning disability that is neurobiological in origin, which means it's an effect of a genetic makeup in the brain. It is characterized by difficulties with accurate and or fluent word recognition and by poor spelling and decoding abilities. These difficulties typically result from a deficit in the phonological component of language that is often unexpected in relation to other cognitive abilities and is the provision of effective classroom instruction. Secondary consequences may include problems in reading comprehension and reduced reading experience that can impede the growth of vocabulary and background knowledge. We found this video to be pretty all-encompassing of the definition of dyslexia. And so whenever you get a chance, we would love it if you would click on this quick little video and give it a chance. It's just 3 minutes. It won't take you very long. If you click the picture of the dyslexia handbook, it will take you straight to a digital copy. Within the digital copy, you can find it broken up into different grade levels and ages, telling you kind of like red flags and what to look for when if you feel like a student may have that sort of disability. In pre-K, if they have a delay in learning just how to talk, difficulty with rhyming, difficulty pronouncing words, poor auditory memory for nursery rhymes and chants, if they can't really remember the words to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, difficulty adding new vocabulary words, inability to recall the right word, trouble learning and naming letters and numbers and remembering the letters, aversion to print, not really wanting to look at books when you read them to them, just maybe they're very interested in what you have to say about the book. Kindergarten and first grade, some look-fors are difficulty breaking down words into smaller parts or syllables, which in kindergarten you do a lot of syllable work, difficulty identifying and manipulating sounds in syllables, difficulty remembering the names of letters and recalling their corresponding sounds, difficulty decoding single words, difficulty spelling words the way they sound. So phonetic spelling is what we want. When it becomes not phonetic or some of those sight words that they see all the time are misspelled, that could be a red flag. Second grade and third grade, difficulty recognizing common sight words, kind of mixing them up, difficulty decoding single words, difficulty recalling the correct sounds for letters and letter patterns in reading, difficulty connecting speech sounds with appropriate letter or letter combinations and omitting letters and words for spelling. So they give you some examples. Difficulty reading fluently, difficulty decoding unfamiliar words and sentences, reliance on picture clues, story theme, or guessing at words, which is kind of our big push with UFLI and the take the pictures out of it just to kind of give you more data on a student. Difficulty with written expression, getting those thoughts down on paper. Fourth through sixth grade, difficulty reading aloud. We don't really have kids read in front of classmates, but they kind of just avoid that whole situation altogether. Difficulty reading fluently, difficulty decoding unfamiliar words, acquisition of less vocabulary due to reduced independent reading. So they're not reading, they're not getting that background knowledge, they're not able to apply it to comprehension skills or lack thereof in the classroom. Use of less complicated words in writing that are easier to spell. So instead of saying the enormous dinosaur, they might just write the big dinosaur. They probably wouldn't even write dinosaur. They'd probably, use some other thing or look it up or use their technology. Some of the things I wanted to talk about just briefly was some really common misconceptions about dyslexia. Just kids with dyslexia, they're not reading words backwards. It's not a vision problem. Their eyes don't move in an opposite way than everybody else's. People with dyslexia, they just have trouble processing and manipulating sounds and words. It's a language-based learning difference. Okay. And another big thing that I hear a lot of teachers coming to me and say, well, they're writing their B's and D's backwards, or they're writing out certain letters backwards. Reversals of letters are completely developmentally appropriate until the end of second grade, beginning of third grade. That's when we should start using that as part of our data to identify a student with dyslexia. If you want to see some more myths and truths about dyslexia, just click this full article here and it'll take you straight there. I added this picture here because I just wanted us to, remember that our students with dyslexia are just like everybody else. We all have unique strengths and weaknesses, and a child with dyslexia has an immense amount of strengths, and they're often hidden by their struggle to access that tier 1 instruction by simply reading through their eyes. Encourage our students with dyslexia in your classroom who've been identified to utilize their accommodations and read with their ears, because that's how they can access their brilliance. Okay. We don't want to set them up for failure by making them do what everybody else is doing. When they have the ability to attain that knowledge, it's just going to look a little bit different. If you have concerns about a student, please review student data and share with parents. Intervene in areas of weakness. If you're not sure how to do that, you can contact care teachers. You can contact dyslexia therapists. We're there to help you create those lessons that will get kids thinking in a different way than maybe kids. Some kids are just different learners. They don't learn exactly the same way as everybody else does. I highlighted in this document, monitor and document student progress. It is so important that you are documenting whenever you feel like a student may be dyslexic or is struggling in any way. The more data, the better. Follow those SAT processes. So our district has done the screenings for kindergarten. And now we are moving into the first grade screeners. Luckily, our district embeds those screeners within, the BOI, MOI, EOI data points through DIBELS. Our state law requires that all first graders are screened before January 31st, which is coming up, which I'm pretty sure a lot of our teachers have already given those DIBELS assessments. And that's it. This is kind of what we're looking for whenever we do screen, whenever we see those red flags or those actual red things highlight and amplify. For kindergarten, we're looking for those letter sounds and naming those fluently. The phonological awareness component, and in first grade, word reading accuracy or fluency and phonological awareness as well. Okay. And then always track and just notice those behaviors that students are having throughout an assessment, just because that can always become part of, if we do get to the part where we're going to be evaluating the student, those observable behaviors are super important to identifying a student. If you have any questions, you can contact your CES and WGES dyslexia teachers. Here's our point of reference. Here's our RES and OUES teachers. And then your JES and DIS dyslexia teachers. Your DMS and EIS dyslexia teachers. And then if you will find, you have access to this presentation. So if you go and you find your school and you click on it, it goes straight to where you need to sign for your grade level. So let's say I'm a CES teacher and I teach kindergarten. I'll print my name here. And then I have set it up to where this piece is a cursive, so it will sign for you. Other than that, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Please reach out if you have any